Once in the country, there was a little boy. He was wandered away from his place that he was living. He didn't have no mother, neither no father. So he decided he would try to get out on his own because he figured that the people that he was around with, that was a little too cruel to him. So the little kid, he wanted to see some parts of the world. He decided he would start out on his own. So he left his home, what he would call a home, and he goes traveling. He traveled for miles and miles. He traveled a good piece from the place that he was located. So he run across a rolling mill. In fact, to the business, it was a sawmill, but they called it a rolling mill at that time because they rolled the logs down the hill, put them on the trolley and roll them on down, and they would cut the first off and throw it in the junk there and let it burn. So Mr. Charlie, he had a shack behind his mill, so he didn't have anything to be in that shack unless somebody stayed. The little boy walked up there and he stood looking lonesome and long. So Mr. Charlie said, "Boy, what you doing here?" He said, me don't have no home." Mr. Charlie said, "Well, wait a minute, I'm busy now." So Mr. Charlie went on doing his work and things that he's supposed to do. He looked, the poor little boy was standing in the same position. He came back there and said, "Boy, can you work?" Me can work." He said, "Well, I tell you what, by you not having no home, I got a shack back there. Said, if you will stay in that shack and keep this fire off of my cured lumber and keep it from burning, my mill burning down," he said, "I'll give you a home here as long as I got a mill." Thank you, Mr. Charlie. And so Mr. Charlie carried him back there and showed him where that he could live, you know. So the little boy was happy with his home. Mr. Charlie lived a few blocks from there. Fact to the business, but it wasn't too far that the little boy could run to the house. So on Sundays they don't work, but they still got that there throwaway burning away, you know what I mean? And so the little boy, he was inside of his little bunk that morning, and he looked out and he see that the rolling mill had caught a fire. The little boy went to running. He run all the way. He didn't stop because he was trying to prove that he mean to do the thing that Mr. Charlie asked him to. So when he got there, Mr. Charlie was busy doing a little something else. What it was, the little boy don't know, and I don't either, but I know the little boy knows that he was busy. So he patted Mr. Charlie on the back. He said, Mr. Charlie." Mr. Charlie straightened up and looked at him and said, "Boy, what you want?" He said, yeah. He said, "Well, wait a minute." He said, "I got something to do. You tell me later." Mr. Charlie turned around and he began doing what he was doing. The little boy wanted to let him know that it was rushing. It was his time to go. He patted him on his back. No sooner Mr. Charlie stooped over and said, Mr. Charlie." Mr. Charlie straightened up and said, "Boy, you trying to tell me something." Said, "Now, if you can't talk, it's a sing it." And he said, "Whoa, Mr. Charlie, your rolling mill is burning down. Whoa, Mr. Charlie, your rolling mill is burning down. He says, "I ain't got no water." Mr. Charlie said, "If you ain't got none, just let the rolling mill burn on down." Mr. Charlie said, "Boy, if there ain't no water around, poke your head out the window and let that old rolling mill burn on down." He said, "Mr. Charlie, do you know your rolling mill is burning down?" He says, "I can't help you, I can't help you. Mr. Charlie, ain't no one around. The little boy said, Miss Charlie, now don't you see, if the mill burned down, that's almost the last of me. Mr. Charlie said, don't you worry, son, listen at me. If the old mill burned down, I'm gonna give you another home. Whoa, somewhere with me, Mr. Charlie. Your rolling mill is burning down. He said, just poke your head out the window and let that old rolling mill burn down. Little boy couldn't help but cry with it. Oh, Mr. Charlie, I won't have no place to stay. Mr. Charlie, I won't have no place to stay. Mr. Charlie said, son, don't you worry. I got a home for you long as your day.